Hello everyone, I hope and pray that you're well. Here I am in our garden. Just to give you a picture of our garden, not a lot growing in these beds yet, but have some cold frames going here in which numerous plants have been started and are going. Certainly have some hope for the strawberries, not quite getting to flower, and of course the raspberries, the canes shooting up around the corner here. Ella certainly gets most of the credit for our garden. Okay, she gets all of the credit for our garden. I do some of the grunt work, but we certainly wouldn't eat very much from our garden if it weren't for Ella. Some of you just love gardening, and this time of year is just a delight to you. It's kind of like Christmas in May as you watch some of your vegetables start popping out of the ground, and just the excitement that that brings. And I was thinking a little bit about how God is the gardener, and at creation, how he makes the Garden of Eden, and he puts Adam and Eve there. And then this from Genesis 2. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east in Eden. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. The Lord took Adam and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and care for it. Now, of course, you know the story, things go awry, but still the garden is good, and it's beautiful, and it's nourishing, and it's flourishing. And working the earth, caring for the soil, is still today our reflection of our Garden of Eden ancestors, right? The good work that Adam and Eve did in the garden. And still today, so many lessons can be learned from gardening, and so much satisfaction can be learned and received in gardening. Doug Paget writes this: an organic gardener takes manure, that is the messy stuff of life, and uses it to nourish things. An organic gardener leaves things fallow sometimes and plows stuff under when necessary. An organic gardener is willing to take smaller fruit in order for it to be truly healthy. An organic gardener knows that there is dying and there is rising. Every winter gardens die, and every spring they require replanting. An organic gardener knows that if you use Miracle-Gro to start, you'll need to keep boosting the amount. An organic gardener knows you have very little to do with the success of the garden. Photosynthesis is still a mystery. You can't make it grow. It's a miracle. And an organic gardener has sore knees and a sore back from being down in the dirt, not standing above the garden. And finally, an organic gardener protects the garden from bunnies. Worms are good, bunnies are bad. And I wonder if you've ever imagined our spiritual ancestors, Adam and Eve, spending time with God, who walked in the garden. And if you have that picture of Adam and Eve walking with God in the garden at the beginning, and then you get to John's Gospel, or we read in John at chapter 20, that after Jesus' resurrection, another great spiritual ancestor of ours, Mary, she meets Jesus in the garden after his resurrection. She doesn't know where Jesus is, and she mistakes Jesus in the garden for the gardener. And like many things in John's Gospel, she's wrong, but she's right? It is the gardener, right? God is the gardener, walking in the garden on that first day, not only of the new week, but on that first day of the new creation. And so, wherever you find yourself, in a garden or in creation this week, may your eyes be open to seeing God's hand in your garden, and may your eyes be open to seeing the handiwork of the good, creative gardener in creation and in every part of your life. The peace of Christ be with you all.